School was on lockdown. It's unclear when that will be lifted. Have extracurricular activities going on, stated after the school was out. This occurred approximately 3:47 p.m.
Back in it, baby, just staying in town. I'm on the edge, I ain't coming down. I get too high, I'm afraid of the ground. I'm young and I'm paid to play with these sounds. Ignoring the calls, she shutting that down. Started a top and I'm taking it down off the champagne. Took a break from the brown on a rampage. I've been giving it brown. Shawty been solid some time now. I'm alive for the wine, dine, and I'm with it. Look where we started and look where we at. I can see where we headed, but I can't see me finish. 3 years ago, I was down on my last. Was stuck at the crib, I couldn't get out of my bed. Then I realized it's all in my head, and I can't go back to the past, yeah. Except now I'm moving, put all in the music for more like a movement is brewing. I cannot picture us losing. I'm sharp when I shoot it, the world is my tutor. She wanna live block in public, but know that I'm published, we settle for safety. Not in the street, but I'm on the same muscle, that schedule been driving her crazy. They talk like they know me, but know that they bluffing unless it's somebody that pays me. Keep minding your business, the money been printed, my nigga just gotta go get it. I'm in the zone through the winter. I'm trying to see Rome, see Venice. I'm at the summit, I'm thumbing my budget, my nigga, it's nothing, just part of my image. I need a minute. I know they live it, admit it, I'm teed up. Little baby, she a teaser. Tell her to follow the leader. I put that weight on my shoulders, so let's run up to check in my knees, yeah. Really not nobody real, it feel like the stars align and you can see, yeah. Just look at the drip, it's lit. I've been on 10, I've been on 10. I'm active again, yeah. Sliding that thing, tell them to step back, cause I'm out of their range. I'm batting again, yeah. I'm active again, yeah.
Welcome back to the channel. This is your boy Deontay, and I'm back with another one. If you be so kind to accept my invite to subscribe, make sure you like the video. It keeps us in the algorithms, but that's neither here nor there. Today, we're about to touch on a subject that is really hitting a spike right now in the United States, man. It's these kids, man. What is going on with this spike in recent school shootings? We just had one hit close to home today in Cincinnati, Ohio. That's where I'm from. Taft High School, a 13-year-old today was shot at school. How does this happen, man? Are the parents that much out of touch with their children that they don't know what the hell is going on? They don't know if they taking guns up out the house. I mean, are y'all securing y'all weapons? I mean, what's really going on? Are y'all securing y'all weapons? Are y'all touching base with your children to see what's going on, to check their temperature, to make sure everything is good? What is really going on? Because we are seeing a spike in this kind of activity. I seen something happen in Baltimore last week. I seen something happen in Georgia where 2 students and 2 teachers lost their lives. Like, it's really getting insane with this activity with these kids bringing weapons to school. Just yesterday, my sister's a teacher. Well, no, September the 10th. My sister's a school teacher. They had a student bring a weapon there, and he was arrested. The child was arrested. They was able to confiscate the weapon without any kind of craziness going on between law enforcement and the child. But this is insane. These kids are actually bringing weapons in school. I mean, this has been going on, but as of now, it's like a recent spike. We only in the 2nd week of school, and we got all these kids getting a hold of these weapons and taking them to school to do God knows who know what. It's insane. Like, as parents, we have to touch base with our kids all the time. Rather, it's just to make sure there's no bullying going on, and make sure they're not bullying anyone, just to check the temperature of our children, to really see what is going on. I always sit down and have conversations with my children, whether it's over dinner, if we are on the way to Walmart to do some shopping. I'm always making sure everything's good. I'm trying to see who they're hanging out with, what kind of friends they have. I meet friends just to make sure they're around people with the right influence and people they're not around people with the wrong influence. Because the moment I sense that friend isn't right for my kid, I'm gonna tell my kid to shy away from that, you know. But this recent spike in school shootings and children bringing weapons to school, I haven't seen nothing like it in my 42 years. I haven't seen nothing like it. I witnessed Columbine High. I had a cousin of mine that was that was shot at his school back in 1990. It was a fight that went on after school, and all the kids gathered around to watch the fight, and just so happened the gun went off and hit him, and he ended up paralyzed from the neck down. Innocent bystander, you know. And this is what's going on. We don't want, as parents, we don't want to send our kids to school having to worry about if our kid gonna even make it back home. It's bad enough as us as adults, especially black fathers, we have to leave out and worry about if we gonna make it back home because of stuff that we got to deal with on a regular. But the last thing a parent wants to worry about is when you sending your child to school to get an education, to sit there and learn. If you got to worry about your child possibly being gunned down at school, you know what I'm saying? You just don't know now. It's like you give your kid a hug. That can be the last time you give your child a hug going to school, because you got these kids bringing all these weapons to school. And where the hell are the parents at? Look, I'm a strong believer that it starts at home. You know, I heard the kid at the Georgia shooting that did the thing out there. He grew up in a toxic environment. It's our responsibility as parents to make sure that we are providing a positive environment and a safe environment for our kids, and a safe space for our kids to come and vent to us if they're going through something to where they feel they got to bring a damn weapon to school. It's our job as parents. That's why I say it starts at home. What are we teaching them? What kind of values are we teaching them? Are we getting them involved in extracurricular activities? Are we putting our kids in therapy when they're going through situations? Are we talking to our children? Are we teaching our children how to pray? It starts at home. There's no way in hell it should be this much of a spike in school shootings. We only in the second week of school. No way. We shouldn't have to worry about our kids when we put them on a bus if this is going to be the last time we see our kids, because somebody was irresponsible and left a weapon to where the kid can get a hold of it, didn't lock the weapon up, or didn't see what was going on with their kid. They haven't been touching base. I mean, these parents ain't parenting these days, I see. They say life be lifing, but parents ain't parenting. Then again, sometimes you can do all you can. You can teach your kid this, you can teach your kid that. These kids these days are the type of kids they got to F around and find out. You can tell them everything they need to know, and they got to F around and find out. You can sit down, you can talk to them, and give them all the jewels and give them all the knowledge, drop the gems on them, and they still gonna go out there and F around and find out, end up expelled or end up in jail or worse. But it starts at home. You know, I understand we have that Second Amendment right to bear arms or whatnot, but we have to be responsible. Everybody that has weapons, don't move responsibly. Because ain't no way in hell a 9-year-old, a 13-year-old, any year-old should be able to access a weapon and take it to school and carry out a violent act. No way. No way in hell. Man, it's bad enough we as citizens, as normal citizens, got to worry about if we're going to go to Walmart. Is this going to be our last trip to Walmart or Kroger? Because you got crazies coming out here opening fire on innocent people in malls and shopping areas and grocery stores and Walmart. It's insane. Like, what has this come to where we're seeing a spike in this much of school shootings and all these kids bringing weapons? What is really going on right now with us as parents? Where are we going wrong as parents to where we can't grab a hold of our kids and see what the hell is going on? Why aren't we properly securing these weapons so our kids can't access these weapons and take them to school? Are they being bullied? What are the school administrators doing to make sure children aren't being bullied? Because I have kids in school, and I've had several incidents with one of my kids where he was being bullied and the admins wasn't doing nothing about it. So he took matters into his own hands. My adult son, when he was in school, took matters into his own hands after he over and over again told the teachers, the principal, the counselors, hey, I'm getting bullied. This guy giving me a hard time. And he took matters into his own hands. Now, he didn't bring a weapon to school. He knocked them out, but what if I was that kind of father that didn't give a damn, and I done went and talked to principals and everything, and I say, you know what, son, hey, do what you got to do, and I had access to weapons or whatever, or he had access to my weapons and took them to school. Now, I condone defending yourself but not bringing a damn weapon to school. I told my son, hey, if you do it again, you know what to do. But to bring a weapon to school, these kids are actually bringing weapons to school and carrying out these heinous acts, and the parents, I mean, they locking the parents up now. Y'all see they locked that Georgia father up. He getting held with no bond. Y'all better move a little different and move a little wiser, making sure y'all securing these weapons and making sure you are having a relationship with your kids to where you got an open door policy where they can come and talk to you when they're going through a situation. Some of these kids feel like they can't come to their parents and they feel shut down. You got parents that's doing their own thing, they working crazy hours, or they just out here trying to live their life and saying F the kids. Oh, throw it in the microwave, feed yourself tonight. Oh, boil you some hot dogs, I'll be back. You got this kind of stuff going on now, and these kids don't have no outlet, so they turn into the wrong influence, or they accessing weapons, and they taking matters in their own hands in the wrong way, in the very wrong way. You got the teachers that have no clue. They putting anybody in these schools now. You got principals that's just, oh, okay, well, I'll talk to them. And there's no action being taken when these kids are getting bullied. Not making excuses, but a lot of the times these kids are being bullied and they taking matters in their own hands to where they accessing these weapons now. That's exactly what's going on. And then you have kids that's doing the bullying that say, hey, I got this, I got that, boom. I got a clip. And then what's up with that, man? I hear a lot of youngsters out here. You know, back in my day, we threw hands. We would fight and we'd get it over with and we'd shake hands later or be cool the next day like ain't nothing happened. Now these kids want to bring a gun. They playing too many GTA video games, too many of the Grand Theft Auto, too much of the Fortnite, too much of Call of Duty, and they thinking they can mimic this, what they seeing in these games and what they seeing in these movies or whatever. They thinking they got a second life. But what they got to realize that once this is over with, it's over. It's no coming back. But they carrying out what they playing in these video games and these Fortnite games and all these Call of Duty games, thinking that, hey, I can air him out real quick, and you know what I'm saying? But you only get one life, man. That's why I say it starts at home. What are we teaching our kids? What are we talking about to our kids? What are we discussing with our kids? Are we filling them out, seeing what's going on? Why are we monitoring what games they playing? Like, we got to go back to that now. Back in my generation, my mama ain't play that. I was able to play WWE, WWF, WCW, and stuff like that, the wrestling games and Golden Axe and Street Fighter and stuff like that. Was that Street Fighter? Or was that Double Dragon? Yeah, Double Dragon, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat. That was cool too. I played a little bit of that. But we had a different mindset back then. We wasn't going out there trying to rip somebody's head off and finish them. These kids really doing Call of Duty activity. Like going in there, airing stuff out, going there, acting like they on GTA for real. That's the type of time they on now. Everybody got phones. Everybody doing cyberbullying. Hell, just out here where we live at, we in a suburban area. They had four schools where they had kids cyberbullying each other, and it was a thing with 4 schools. And you know, I don't even see that kind of behavior out here. But now I'm like, man, what is really going on? We only in the second week of school. The second week of school, yo. And these kids is wilding. They fooling, man. These kids are straight on a different type of time. I ain't gonna call it demon time, but they on a different type of time. Because I don't think no kid should be called a demon or nothing like that. Because it starts at home. It starts with us as parents to make sure that we properly giving our children the proper tools they need to be productive, to go out here and conduct themselves the right way. But if we ain't doing what we got to do as parents, what do you expect? It's crazy, man. I'm praying for these kids. Like I'm gonna really be praying for these kids, man. I'm gonna be praying for my kids because no, that's the parents' worst nightmare to get a call that something is wrong with one of your kids. There's something that happened to one of your kids, and you ain't there to protect your child at that time. That you don't want that kind of indictment on you where something that happened to your child and you was nowhere to protect your child, especially at the hands of another child, at the hands of anybody, period. The last thing you want is that phone call saying something that happened to your child. You know, we get up in the morning with our kids, we get them their breakfast ready, we make sure their homework done, we make sure they properly dressed, their teeth is brushed, hair is combed, we lotion them down if they little enough. Like I got a couple toddlers. So I make sure I give my kids a hug and I love on them before they go to school because you just never know. You just never know. But I love my children. And I think maybe if these kids had more of hugs and affection from their parents and more of their relationship where they feel like they can go to their parents in their time of need or when they feel like they're going through something, we have a different outcome. We wouldn't be in the second, third week of school right now with all these kids bringing weapons to school. We wouldn't have kids airing each other out at record numbers right now. It is wild what's going on to me. It is wild. This is beyond me. And I'm pretty sure it's a lot of people that feel the way I feel about this spike in recent school shootings. It's wild, man. Just the other day, I swear, my sister, she's a school teacher in a really good district out in Cincinnati, Ohio, suburb of Cincinnati, Ohio. She's in a really good school district. And a 10-year-old, I believe, he was 9 or 10, bought a weapon to school, a 9mm. He was 10 years old. It was a 9mm. Bought a 9mm to school. How in the hell is a 10-year-old getting a hold of a 9mm weapon if you as the parent supposed to be securing these weapons? And what's going through the mind of a 10-year-old that they feel like they got to resort to grabbing a fucking gun and taking it to school? I'm telling you, it starts at home. It starts at home. You have to really monitor these kids' activities. You got to start putting some filters on these websites. You got to watch what games they playing. Watch what games they download on their phones. You got to really filter those phones. You have to really be in tune with your children in this day, in this generation, because it's different. This ain't the 80s no more. This ain't the 90s. It is a different time now. You got little kids doing all types of stuff they ain't supposed to be doing. You got adults trying to be kids. You got kids trying to be adults. Make that make sense. You got a lot of single mothers raising these kids by themselves. No father in the household to provide that leadership and to provide that structure. Then sometimes you have the father in the house and he don't know how to be a leader or how to provide structure because he don't know how to properly parent. There's so many parenting classes out here that you can take. There's so many opportunities. It's YouTube. YouTube a free platform. If you having trouble parenting, pick up your cell phone and do some YouTubing about how to parent. Go to your local clinics or whatever. I'm pretty sure they offer therapy, some kind of free services to help you out. Because ain't no reason why we in the second or third week of school, we got these kids getting hit up like they getting hit up at record numbers. It ain't no reason. It's our job as parents. It's our job as adults in our communities to protect these children. When we grew up, man, these adults in our generation in the 80s and the 90s, they believed that it took a village. Nowadays, you chastise another person's kid, the parent coming down on you, and you just looking out for their kid. Make that make sense. You can't correct nobody. You can't correct nobody kids. You can't be a teacher and correct nobody kids because you got the parents coming up there wanting to fight the teachers. It's crazy. And that's why we got this record number and we got this spike in school shootings. We shouldn't have to worry about if this is going to be the last time we see our kids when we put them on a bus or when we drop them off for the day. We put our, as parents, we put our trust in the school system and what's, school admins, the principals, the teachers, and all these adults that's over our children's heads. When we drop them off, we put our trust that our kids going to make it back in one piece. A lot of schools have security now. How the hell are these kids bringing these weapons in school? And I'm pretty sure, a lot of kids, they move like hush hush. They'll have knowledge that a kid got a weapon, and everybody like, they ain't saying nothing. They part of the plan too. We gotta do better as parents, man. I'm so blessed. I had a mother and I got a dad that put values in me as a child. I had a great grandmother that sat and talked to me, man. As a kid, I would spend the whole weekend, sometimes spend the night throughout the week, and just go to school from my great grandmother's house. Because I had that kind of relationship with my elders that I sat, listened, and took heed. And they spoke to me, and I took heed. You can't tell these kids shit these days. These kids, you can talk to them about life and death and this and that. You can and try to put them on the right path. It just goes one ear and out the other. It's like beating a dead horse. They don't listen. They don't care. They have no moral values. They don't have no kind of empathy. There's no kind of humility going on with these kids. They don't give a damn. These kids is a lost cause, man. If they do have good parents, that's a different thing. Because if you got good parenting going on, more than likely your kid is gonna be good. Like, it's none of that stuff. They gonna know. Like, sometimes you got to put belt to ass. But then you got to worry about you putting belt to ass if the kid's gonna go to 2-for-1 kids. It's crazy, man. Society got this world effed up, man. It really does. You put belt to ass, sometimes the kids still won't listen when you putting belt to ass. Then if you put too much belt to ass, then you got the child protective services knocking on your door, or you got the school getting up in your business. The kids acting out too much, you got the school getting in your business. There's a lack of mental health services for these kids. Well, I can't say that. They got access, but parents are not following up with appointments like they should too. So it's just, as a whole, society is just fucked up. It's effed up, man. I'm sorry about the language, but man, when you care about these kids, when you want to see these kids make it home safe, shouldn't nobody be burying kids, man. Don't nobody want to bury no child. Don't nobody want to see reports of a child being shot up or getting hit up like that. It's a story that came out the other day of a 3-year-old child with autism that came up missing, but they found him in a pond. I guess he wandered off and got into a pond. And they found the child in the pond. That broke my heart to hear that, man. Because I have a child with autism. We as parents have got to do better in keeping an eye on our children in every capacity of life. In every capacity. You have to keep an eye on your kids. I don't care if they're in the front yard, you got a fenced-in yard, secure gate, or whatever. I got Rottweilers, and I still am out there with my kids. When we at the park, and I'm right there with my kids. I don't take an hour for my kids. You can't. You just can't. You have to, as parents, keep touching base with your children. I got adult children, man. I got a 20-year-old son. I got a 19-year-old daughter. I still touch base with my 20-year-old son. Like, hey, you good? What's going on? He working a good job now. Hey, what's going on at work? How's the job going? I'm telling you, man, when you have that rapport with your children, when you have that relationship, they have a more positive outcome. Some kids fall short. You can do everything you can as a parent to make sure you're giving them all the skills and pouring into them kids and giving them all the gems and giving them all the proper tools they need. But if your child decides to go and F around and find out, it is what it is. You did your job as a parent. But while they are young, it starts when they're young. Like I have toddlers, and you should see how disciplined they are as toddlers. There's no repeating myself. What I say, they better go ahead and do it. Okay, daddy. It starts when they're young. Correcting behaviors. There's no such thing as a bad kid. They just need some redirection. Just redirect. Redirection. Positive feedback. Gentle parenting. Like when you see your kid doing something positive, you always give them that positive feedback. Oh, thank you. Good job. You threw your trash away. Good job. You cleaned your area. Positive. It's just sad, man. I can't believe we only 2-3 weeks into school right now, and it's a spike in these school shootings. It's like every week it's something. Just today, man. This was at Taft High School, man. It's just sad, yo. Cincinnati, Ohio, 13.
And the school was on lockdown. It's unclear when that will be lifted. Have extracurricular activities going on. He stated after the school was out. This occurred approximately 3:47 p.m.
Man, and that really brings back memories, man. My cousin Derek Turnbull. Anybody from Cincinnati, Ohio that know the story, and he has a street named after him right there, right in that little area right there. It's a street, maybe a block or two over, that's named after my cousin. He, like I said, they gathered after school. It was a fight. All the kids, teenagers, they all, one of his boys was banging or whatever, right? He made sure he went over there to watch his boy back to see what was going on with his boy. His boy was, the story I got was hitting the guy with the you know what I'm saying, and in the midst of it, it went off, and my cousin took one. It paralyzed him from the neck down. He survived for a year, and he succumbed to his injuries because he was paralyzed from the neck down. This was This was 1990, 1991, around that time. Tragic. And his, the guy that did it was so remorseful about it. Like, he really didn't mean it, man. It was like, man, but why the hell was a gun involved in the first place? Why do these kids, these teenagers, feel the need to go and pick up a gun? A gun is going to solve all the problems in the world. It don't. It bring in more issues, more drama, more problems. It can bring death and destruction. These kids, I'm telling you, these video games and the way they being raised, the environments they in, the stuff they hear their parents talking about, these kids only acknowledge death and destruction. That's what it seemed like. If they're not being brought up in a proper environment, these kids are lacking all moral values, all morality, just all humility, just all empathy. Man, it's sickening. It really is. It comes out in the music too. Yeah, in the music. These kids seeing all these drill rappers and these guys talking about drilling this, drilling that, merch this, merch that. It's wild. Airing this out, airing that out. And this generation is think is cute. There's nothing cute about taking a automatic weapon, a long automatic weapon, a long firearm, and going to air something out or walking somebody down. What's cute about that? Somebody gone now. Their life is gone. Your life is over with. You go into the booty house at a very young age, never going to experience a woman, never going to experience life, never going to experience freedom. You're just going to go straight to jail and get ordered around, get told when to go to bed, get some crappy ass food, eat a bunch of jail breaks, sit up there and be around men all day. It's a better way, kids. It's a better way of life than this. It's a better way than picking up a fucking gun. And I'm gonna get on y'all level. It's a better way. It seems like y'all only listen when we get aggressive. Me and y'all listen. But if we, yes, son, or children, it's not right to go and pick up a weapon. You know, if you see a weapon, you call 911 immediately. If you see somebody or hear someone with a weapon, you call someone, you call an adult immediately, right now. Nah, fuck that. Do that, but you motherfuckers need to stop. Y'all little ass is gonna end up in jail or end up dead some damn where. You're gonna end up on somebody's t-shirt with angel wings. Ain't no coming back from that. You only get one life. You're gonna end up on everybody's Facebook post, everybody's social media post. Oh, I miss my baby. Who wanna bury a child? Who wanna bury a baby? Y'all don't even hit y'all target. Y'all don't know what y'all doing. And sometimes y'all do hit y'all target, but it's overkill then. Like, when is the bullshit gonna stop? You're on your way to jail for the rest of your life, or you're on your way to hell. And you don't want to experience hell. Brimstone, fire and brimstone. Unrelentless for torment forever and ever, an eternity of torment. You thirsting, constantly being tortured by demons. Y'all call yourself demons here? Oh, if you experience hell, like if you read the scriptures and you hear these testimonies from people that have went to hell, and God revealed how hell was, to come back and give us a testimony, you would change your fucking life. Because hell is real. Jail is real. Death is real. There's no coming back from death. You only get one life. And after this right here is over with. You're either going to be with the Most High, or you're going to be somewhere you don't want to be. In eternity, this never ending of torment. The gnashing of teeth, suffering, pain, agony. But you can't tell y'all kids nothing. Y'all kids are the type that got to F around and find out. You can't tell them nothing, man. You can talk until you blue in the face. These kids ain't gonna listen. They say, I gotta F around and find out what this hell about. I gotta fuck around and find out what jail about. Man, I can do jail. I can do that standing on my head. You wouldn't last a fucking week in jail. They gonna turn you out, pimp you out, do whatever it is for a pack of noodles. They gonna have you selling ass in there for a bar of soap. Bringing all this shit to school. You go to school to get an education to better yourself. That way you're able to compete with these Asians, with these Indians. You got these foreigners coming over here, and they out doing our American children. They're the ones going out in IT. They're the ones going to become doctors. They're the ones going out there becoming engineers. They're the ones, because they get over here and they handle their business. They know what the assignment is when they get over here. They parents, when they come over here to change their life, they understand the assignment. It's the motherfuckers here right now that don't understand the assignment. Please engage with your kids. Love on your kids. Hug on your kids. Let them know it's okay. It's going to be all right. You safe here. If we had that type of energy, in all our communities, which is impossible at times because it's impossible. It's just impossible because this generation is gone. Everything is a cell phone. Everything is AI. But if we had that type of energy, man, it'd be so much. It'd be way different. I think back to when I grew up in the 80s and 90s, man, it was way different. It wasn't no cell phones. We was out there playing kickball, playing bat on the bounce, playing killer man tag, killer man football, freeze tag, riding bikes together, getting out there making up stuff to do, hopscotch, whatever it was. Going to meet up with the neighborhood up the block and go and play football against them neighbors. And we all was together. You know what I'm saying? We all made sure each other was safe. You know what I'm saying? The parents looked out for other people's kids. It wasn't no, oh, you had to yank my son up. Don't be putting your hands on my child. It wasn't none of that. Yeah, girl, you should have did more than that. Thank you. This day and age, you can't do that with nobody kids because the parents ready to fight you because you didn't save their child's life. I'm so grateful I grew up in the 80s and the 90s and I had the community that I had around me. People like Miss Felicia, people like Mr. Williams, people like Miss Lisa, our next door neighbors, Miss Denise, Miss Tanya, Miss Allison, Miss Sandra, who taught me manners. Like if I stepped out of line was correcting me. My mother being around an older woman like that, like she was like 10 years older than my mother, helped her become a better parent. Like, well, you can teach them this, teach them that. Even though my mom was an excellent parent. 2 college graduates, and all of us got careers. I'm a business owner, entrepreneur. My sister is driving trucks, semi-truck driver, out on the road getting her money. My other sister, a teacher for 15 years. Because we grew up in an environment that everyone cared. Our mother cared. Our mother would take us out for dinner. We'd go out for dinner and we would just talk, share what's going on, talk about what's going on. We would have dinner at home, share what's going on. We have these dinner time was our time to vent and express ourselves. And we don't have that. You got kids eating by themselves, warming up a microwave meal or just not eating, period. Parents all out doing whatever they want to do, ripping and running the streets, chasing their necks high. It's crazy. It ain't none of that going on for real. No, when do parents and kids actually sit down and have dinner without everybody being in their phones now? Everybody head in the phone. I took my daughter out to dinner one day. We went out as a family. Her head was in that phone. I'm like, put the phone down. Put the phone down. This is our time as a family. Put the phone down. It's crazy, man, but we need to come together as a community and really grasp hold of our children, love on our children a lot more because they need it right now. Because this right here is unacceptable. It's unacceptable. Well, I appreciate y'all for tuning into the video. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and definitely share the video. I really appreciate y'all. I'm out of here. Peace.